Catastrophic accidents. Heart-stopping moments. Colossal ships confronted by sudden disasters. Those split seconds when everything tilts toward chaos and fear takes the wheel. And now, every one of those moments begins. Hard to say what the captain was thinking, but it ended up being a full 180-degree turn. I'm getting seasick just watching this. The Bering Sea passage from Dutch Harbor to Busan, battling a fierce storm and severe icing along the way. Extreme conditions demand extreme skills at the helm. For years, this ferry carried people across the Gulf of Izmir. Today marks a new chapter. It's being deliberately sunk to become part of an artificial reef and a fresh underwater playground for divers. There's rarely much space to maneuver in ports, which is why handling mistakes are so common. In these scenes from a port in Argentina, a bulk freighter's crew failed to account for their speed and knocked a whole berth out of operation. They're not called killer waves for nothing. From time to time, massive isolated waves form, sometimes unusually steep and up to 20 meters high. For ships, they're a deadly threat because they just can't handle that kind of pressure. A Chicago Fire Department icebreaker carves a path through the frozen river, slicing through cracking ice in the middle of a major city. It looks even more epic. In June 2025, this ship's crew faced trouble while passing through the Suez Canal. The steering system broke down. A container ship ran aground off the coast of Newfoundland. The crew was rescued, but the vessel turned into a ticking environmental time bomb.
La muralla, y con horrea que los que botan para el piso. Miren, santísima.
The Irish Sea went wild, and this ferry ended up right in the middle of the huge waves stirred up by Storm Hercules.
Oh.
This is the reality of a sailor's life in winter. From November through March, when the temperature drops below -20 degrees Celsius, the chief mate and the crew of young sailors rush to remove the ice. A perfect 10 for the parking skills. A sad end for an abandoned ship. For nearly 10 years, the ferry sat in Spain's port of Algeciras with no crew and no maintenance. Eventually, it filled with water and sank. This tugboat was helping with a bridge replacement project in Maine when a strong current pushed it into a barge. The crew managed to get out just before the boat began tilting and slowly sinking.
Come on, baby.
Oh my God.
An unfortunate mishap on a canal in Vietnam. It seems the barge captain checked the height of the new bridge and figured his vessel would be safe.
PT Baroka telah terjadi kebakaran kapal minyak dan relawan Lin Sembrani dengan relawan Anggana Peduli.
The storm doesn't care how much people paid for their cruise tickets.
That's so dangerous.
Aduh! Wow! Hey! Hey! Awas itu balik! Jangan video!
Anyone would panic if a ship crashed into two more vessels. Luckily, no one was hurt. Antarctica is one of the harshest places on Earth. On January 17, 2026, the cruise ship Scenic Eclipse II became trapped in the ice of the Ross Sea. The legendary icebreaker USCGC Polar Star came to the rescue. There, a ship this big spins the props, everyone feels it.
Are they gonna make it?
Oh, no way.
When the current is strong, steering this floating house becomes almost impossible. Another catastrophic miscalculation of height and width, and this time a bridge near Belém, Brazil ended up paying the price. You can totally understand why the crew was on edge. Such a close maneuver could easily have ended in disaster. In Egypt, the drilling vessel Adam Marine 12 capsized in the Suez Gulf. How do you make sense of it when it all happened so fast? This tidal bore is why ships need to have speed limits when traveling around rivers.
Nei, 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 ring politiet med en gang! Å, helvete.
Here we go.
This Tyrrhenian sea crossing is one the passengers and crew will never forget. A boat carrying 117 people was approaching the port on Italy's island of Stromboli. This isn't a scene from a disaster movie. This is a real waterspout that crossed paths with a ship out in open water.
A batida muito forte agora, né? Aqui no rio.
Drone footage that looks like the opening of a disaster movie, but it's real. A container ship became trapped in the ice of Little Bay Denok in northern Lake Michigan. Firefighter tugboat showing off. One error, $10 million down the drain. That's the figure mentioned in legal documents following a crash between two huge chemical tankers in the port of Galveston, Texas. In the Norwegian ports of Bodø, a storm slammed into the side of the Nord-Norge ocean liner so hard that the metal groaned. Wind gusts reached 35 meters per second. To stop the ship from crashing into the pier, the captain had to drop anchor. In the Ecuadorian city of Guayaquil, Brazil's tall ship Cisne Branco clipped a bridge and almost dragged a tugboat underwater. Fortunately, everyone on board was unharmed. That was definitely a close call. We don't know how this fishing boat ended up at sea during such a violent storm, but its passengers were extremely lucky. Parallel parking a ferry is more impressive than it looks. For some, this is a nightmare job. For a sailor, it's just another day on the job. Passengers aboard a cruise ship off the coast of Florida were stunned when a violent tornado came dangerously close to their vessel. The cargo ship lost control and slammed into a support of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. It all happened in mere seconds, and the sheer scale of the crash shocked even the emergency responders. There won't be another chance to get there. Is this a ship or a whole darn city? What can go wrong even before a ship heads out to sea? In the Iranian port of Asaluye, a cargo vessel flying the Tanzanian flag overturned right in the middle of loading. This massive ferry is rocking like a toy boat, even though it weighs more than 700 tons when empty. These images were filmed in 2020 when Storm Dennis, one of the strongest extratropical cyclones ever recorded, struck the Atlantic. Carnival Glory was trying to dock and ended up crashing into the bow of the already mauled Carnival Legend. In the Arctic, in the Kara Sea, the nuclear-powered icebreaker 50 Let Pobedi was on its way to assist the cargo ship Yamal Krechet. Hold on to something, folks. It's about to get real bumpy. Italy is famous for its great weather, which might explain why the ferry captain wasn't exactly prepared for the gusts blowing through Naples' Beverella port. The massive cruise ship Celebrity Edge, which can carry around 3,000 passengers, was calmly moored at the Juneau Pier until a sudden gust of winds decided to shake things up. A lady pilot using the world's scariest staircase. A ceremonial send-off in Turkey. People are bidding farewell to an old ferry, which will soon become an artificial reef. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more shocking clips caught on camera. Drop a comment and tell me which moment surprised you the most. See you in the next one.